It's going to unmute. Oh, hello.
And
Technical difficulties.
yet again.
Yeah.
1 second, people.
And there they are.
Get it.
Yeah. The motorists. Doing this on the fly real quick.
Right. What a day, man. We need to go steal the studio is where we're at with this, I'm telling you.
Steal the studio?
Yeah, like a television studio. Something that has internet broadcasting capabilities. We're clearly not cut out for it here.
No.
I don't think it's we. I think it's more of a me thing. But I don't know what I don't. If you don't change, if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Well, I think so. It was a random chord this time, right? Or do you think it was something with OBS?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But I don't want to talk about this every week. We are live, people. Sorry for the delay. I did say 3 o'clock, but
It's 4-ish. Yeah.
my hands was tied.
Yep.
Anyhow, doing that, we're gonna chill for a second. I usually don't do this. I did for a while and then I quit. I'm gonna start doing it again, but I'm gonna do it at random times during the show. Like
Just-
maybe not always at the beginning. You know, just do it at a random time, and people will love to hate it. They'll grow to hate it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What, did you feel a little guilty about the shilling or something? Because, yeah, you took like a couple months where you didn't really shill much.
It was only like 4 or 5 episodes.
All right.
Yeah. Anyhow, antisocialexperience.com is the website. I have changes worked out. They're not published yet, but when you people see them, you will dig them. Audio listeners go there. There are multiple ways to subscribe and show support. We're not asking you to do them all. If you're an audio person, subscribe to the podcast. If you're the must-have video junkie, go ahead and head on over here to the YouTube channel. There is the backup channel of my YouTube, but I'm trying to really push the podcast YouTube for this one, not the backup archive, which is my personal channel. If you like PC repair stuff, you check that out there. Enough about that. And then our home on Facebook. I think it's kind of cool that Facebook gives us a home, don't you?
Yeah.
In a sense.
In a sense.
But then again, like, they could be our undoing.
You think?
I don't know, man.
Depends.
Yeah.
It all depends.
So those are our homes. I look at the wrong screen sometimes. Like, for what, you know what I mean? Sometimes I look there and I think OBS and it's not. It's the other monitor. I need to get all this stuff out in front of me instead of beside me. But whatever. Enough said about that. Crazy things that happened this week. Do you have any other than the main?
Well, in our state, a bill was put forth to get rid of concealed carry requirement.
Yes.
Basically, like if you pass like the regular background check to get the firearm, then
You just have the gun.
You just have the
You're
right
golden.
to. It's just like you can conceal carry. Then they're like, that's a good enough one, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. So your thoughts on that? What do you think?
I think that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well,
Like I think that's going back Old West style. You know, because that's a little Old Westy, if you ask me. Like, don't you think? Like, just no. I mean, did you even need a gun permit back then? I don't think. If you could get a gun, you could carry it, right? If you could get your hands on it, you could pretty much stop me.
well, like 100, 200 years ago.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's pretty much like, all right, come do something.
Yeah.
That's what it was like. I don't know. I didn't live then. None of you did. Don't even pretend, losers. You're not going to convince me. I know you didn't live then.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you could get your hands on a gun, you could carry. Is how I take it from modern day media, TV shows, movies. Not really social media, but media. You know,
Okay.
with movies I've seen and stuff. And we're not really taking a step back to that, but in a sense, we are. I mean, you had to have a permit to be able to conceal a weapon, firearm, and carry it with you. And there's no license that you can get that lets you carry around like a semi-automatic assault rifle or anything, right? But not as far as I know. I mean, maybe if you're like SWAT or like a tactical team, or if you're on a tour or whatever for the military. Like if you're a military personnel, maybe military police, you could have a rifle or a semi-automatic rifle.
Yeah.
There's no license that me or you could get that would let us carry one, right?
I'm not sure because I don't.
As a citizen, I don't think there is. Like I said, if we're part of a police force or something, I think we might.
Well, I don't know, man. They sell them. I think it depends on the state, maybe, because like, I guess like we're one of the stricter states,
Right.
like on the spectrum of gun laws, like right now.
There's like gun laws are. If we could sink ourselves just talking about this, because
Yeah.
there's people that love guns and people that hate guns, and I'm just some dude talking about it. I don't have a super strong opinion on either way. But there's some crazy stuff. Like, you can buy equipment, and I don't know, maybe it's been banned since I looked it up, but you could actually buy this little mill that you would program and have it hooked to a computer, and you could mill out your own receivers for AR-15s. It was called a ghost gunner. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure like federally, that's the part that's like legal. Is like the lower receiver for automatics. I think.
Well, no, that's what
Or-
you could make was the lower receiver
Yeah.
for AR-15s with no serial number, no nothing.
Yeah.
And you can make all you want. You can't sell them. When you start selling them, selling the lower receiver, selling the gun, that's when you're getting into trouble.
Well, I think you have to have a license for that.
No, they might have banned it since. Let me
Since
pull it
I think
up.
now, yeah.
Ghost. I do believe they did call it the ghost gunner. Denford Micro Mill 2000. So $700 used. And the website is still up. They have a Ghost Gunner 2 now. Okay, so they came out with a second edition since I looked the first time. An open source hardware project. No prior CNC experience required, and you're not getting full receivers. You're getting 80%. So there's still, you need some knowledge to complete that lower receiver. But it's not illegal. You can make them all day. You can't, I don't think you can sell them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's kind of weird because you can make, it's like, wow, I can make my own army's worth of AR-15s, for example, but I can't sell them. I don't even think you can give them away. I think even if you give it away, you're breaking the law. I could be wrong. Gun nuts, let me know. I know there's somebody out there that likes guns way more than either of us do. But that's a crazy world. So we're going back to, if you got a pistol, you can hide it. So that didn't pass. They just put it in the vote.
I think it's up for vote still, you know what I mean? So
Let me state this now. If you are a keyboard warrior or somebody that just likes to get crazy on a computer and you decide you're going to take it out into the real world and be like that, if a bill like that passes, it's an even worse time to, because you don't know who you're dealing with, man.
yeah, then
If there's no permit and anybody can concealed carry,
yeah.
the chances are higher you're going to run into somebody, yeah, with a gun more and more. I see crime going up, man. Like people with tempers and whatnot.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Because tell me there's not. Well, true. If they have a temper, but they probably have assault charges, something like that, they're probably not going to be able to get the gun legally.
Yeah, if you have like, I think, yeah, if like you can't have a felony right now in our state, so like I'm not, you know.
And that's just talking. We're talking from a legal standpoint here, people. Not like it's not like every individual out there is going to be able to go and get a gun. No, if you can. What is it? A background check?
Yeah.
When you sign up and it takes a couple days, do they push it through that day?
If I remember correctly, and I might be getting it wrong, I thought it was like there's like a waiting list on a handgun.
On a handgun or rifles, you can buy that day.
I think. But I could be wrong on that. So
now you can buy like shotguns. And stuff
say anything you can't conceal easily. Yeah.
Right. You can buy that day, which some of those can do damage, dude.
Yeah.
Like whatever. We're not getting into those the semantics on that. Pass a background check. People that can do that, in basically anybody that could legit get a firearm now would be able to conceal it if they pass that bill.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Do you think that's a recipe for disaster?
I don't know, man.
I saw something with Trump. What was he saying? Something about?
Okay, like you do realize, like our state, like there's like a little island of blue in the center, and that's Center County,
Right.
and you know that's college, like central, like you know a little more whatever. But like,
what map are you talking about?
Like political party map, and then like all around it, it's like a sea of red.
Okay, let me
So
look here.
I'm wondering, you know, like. I'm wondering around here how many people already have guns. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me look at this. Oh, that's the U.S. Okay, politics of Pennsylvania. I'm trying to pull up an actual map here. Images, political party map of PA. Yeah, there's not even any blue in the center. This one, of course, this could be old. It's all red everywhere, and there's some blue on the lower corners.
Yeah, that would be Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Like,
Yeah,
it makes sense though. You know
but
what
it's
I mean?
all red through the middle.
Yep.
Through the middle, and both the upper left, upper right is all red. Like I said, it could be an old map. Okay, so red is what?
Well, and I saw like from the last like presidential election, that's when
Right. Politics of Pennsylvania. They don't date this shit. It's just dumb stuff from Wiki. Wow, they have different colors of blue. What does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
You got like a lighter blue, then you got like a bright lighter blue, and then you got like a dark, heavily shaded in dark blue. Politics ain't my thing, man.
It's interesting to follow. I don't know.
Not for this guy. I don't know. That maybe they'll make it more interesting someday.
Yeah.
No, but as for right now, and maybe, I heard that as you get older, you start caring more and more about it. I don't think that's necessarily true. You know what I mean? Maybe.
No, not necessarily, because some people are just never into it at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I've never really had an interest. I remember way back, I forget what grade. I think third grade was the first time I was exposed to it. Like, if you were voting for president, who would it be? And it was the teacher doing it. You know what I mean? And I think this was the original Bush at the time. Would have been in the late 80s. Is that Bush era?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, they took a vote of our class, and it was our homeroom teacher who we were not that it was homeroom. We went elsewhere. We were in that classroom all day, and she did a vote. I remember that I did write Bush down. I forget who he ran against. Who did he run against then?
Can't remember.
Dukakis, Michael Dukakis. Is that a name?
I
know.
know. I think that might be it. Yeah.
Election of 80s, right?
Yeah.
I like to keep facts, but I hate to delay it out there, like on the air for people. All right, we're still alive at least. I am watching the clock, trying to anyhow. Did it in 1988 United States presidential election. So yeah, that would have been around the time of like third grade or whatever for me. Roughly third going into fourth grade. Michael Dukakis of Massachusetts. Okay, he defeated the Democrat, and my page is cut off. Governor, Massachusetts. Yeah, so 88, and I really didn't. You know what I mean? How I understood it as a kid then, like one of these guys could be president, whoever wins, and I didn't know nothing about other people. When it was presented to me as a kid, there was like one or the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
you didn't understand like primaries and
independent and what a Tea Party? Is that one?
Green Party.
Yeah.
Like, there's like a constitutional party. There's a bunch of parties.
Was all that a thing in the 80s? Has that always been around?
Well, even if you look back at the two major parties, like they've changed throughout the last 200 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Not for this cat here, man. Back then, how I understood it as a kid was this guy or that guy. Mm-hmm. And that's still my understanding of it today. Call me ignorant or uninformed. I'm very uninformed in politics. I could not have what intelligent sounding conversation about politics whatsoever. Like I'd be lost the first 30 seconds. But anyhow, moving on from that.
Yeah.
Guns. It could be good, man. I mean, maybe people will be responsible with it. I doubt it. There's gonna be a couple crazy people popping off, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well,
what about
that already happens from time to time.
Who is there now that does that? Is Texas like that? Do you know?
Not sure exactly. No.
Like and what's the term for that? Like, no permit, concealed carry.
No concealed carry permit required.
There we go. It's even pulling it up for me. Google.
you-
What a magnificent tool. I love you, Google. Even though you do shady stuff like Apple, it's not as bad. Okay, 26 states will let you carry a concealed gun without making sure of something or other. And the sentence gets cut off. Google. They only think in partial thoughts.
Yeah, we'll click down that rabbit hole, man. Like,
Well, they think in partial thoughts because you can get back to it later. All right. Without making sure you know how to shoot one. Does that? Okay, that
Yeah,
don't even
it's-
fall in.
yeah, it's not exactly.
Okay, so hold on. 26 states will let you carry a concealed gun without making sure you know how to shoot one. Statewide licensing requirements. Okay, so apparently some states, if you're getting a license, you have to prove you can shoot it.
Okay.
Is that a thing?
I guess. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think that. Well, let's see. Should that be a part of it? If you want to buy a gun, should you know how to handle it, tear it down, shoot it? I mean, where do you? That's always where the argument lies. Where do we draw the line on this?
How many people buy a car and don't know how to work on it? Or like don't maintain it either.
Right.
So-
But they do have to have that license to
But
drive.
I guess license to drive and then the like inspections and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
Which that's kind of crazy. I lived in Ohio in a previous portion of my life years ago, and they don't have the inspection thing.
At all.
No.
There's a few states out like in the Midwest.
Right.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the way I understood it, and both my mother and stepfather told me about it. I'm like, we don't have a sticker, and they're like, yeah, you don't have to have it in this state. That was one of the bonuses about moving there. Let's leave our friends and family way behind and move further west to Ohio. They got good roads. Okay, yes, they do. No inspection. Awesome. But I know nobody. Fuck
Yeah.
this place. No, I can't say that. I met good people there. However, if you get in an accident and it was because of something breaking on your car that caused the accident, it was pretty much on you
Yeah.
to keep
still.
it, maintain it. And let me tell you, there was some winners for cars on the roads out there. Without inspection, dude, just think about it. Think what could be on the roads. I'm talking, you got cars with whole trucks, rust holes through, the panels. Mm-hmm. They were legal to drive because the rest of it was safe enough, But the bodies could go to shit. And how my mom and stepdad said it was if something happened and it was like, whatever, your tie rod broke or brakes failed and that was determined to cause the accident, watch out. Like you were getting, I don't know if you would get fines, legal action, or what.
You got to keep up, but yeah, responsible for your own
Maintain your
vehicle.
damn car for sure. Yeah, that was pretty much what they said. But now the gun thing. Okay, should you know how? Okay, maybe you don't need to know how to tear it down, which I think most people that do have a gun would know how to. After having it for a certain amount of time, and they got to clean it or whatever. You gotta, I think, to clean most guns, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know about all firearms. You have to at least break it down part way to properly clean it.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing. I don't know here because I don't know. I like guns, but I'm not that into them like gun nut type.
Personally, like I've shot guns a few times, but I don't have any.
So maybe you shouldn't be required to do that, but should you be required to get your license to carry that or whatever? Should you be required to know how to shoot it? Mm-hmm. Because I mean, think about it. You can go a lot of places with that. Because, okay, what if you go in to buy the gun and you can't shoot for shit? Well, asshole, it's my first gun. I want to get into that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Which they would have to have training courses in place, which means designating people to do that training, right? Mm-hmm. And then is that something additional you have to pay for? Who does the cost for that fall on? Is it part of the license? Yeah. There's a lot to it. I don't think you should have to know how to shoot it to buy it. Isn't that something you could learn later?
True. Yeah.
But I mean, just get the car, learn how to drive it later.
Yeah. Let's sit there. Yeah.
That don't apply. That's not a thing.
Do the guns come with like a user manual? Like,
I'm pretty sure that maybe.
yeah, I don't know.
That's a good question. We should go buy guns and find out.
Yeah.
Do you ever see them doing away with all guns? Honestly, I know some people want it
I just think it's unfeasible at
to
this
do it.
point. Well, more guns than people at this point. Like,
Right.
yeah, in the country. Like,
Even if the people that want to, even if people were double fisting guns, and you know what I mean, and you counted them 2-1, I'm sure there's still more guns than people. You know, like if you put it down like 2-1, I'm pretty sure there's still more. I don't know. I know a lot of people say that it's an answer or the start to an answer, right?
yeah.
But is it really? I don't think they would ever be able to get them all. I think you're gonna deal. Like let's take it down a dark road map for a minute. Okay, they decide they're gonna take all guns out of the country
Okay.
from all the citizens, whatever, and they start doing it, rounding them up like smaller towns. What happens when you get to cities or bigger towns that are not like village size? When it's like, bigger than our town here or whatever, even our town. Like you're gonna go around rounding up all the firearms.
Yeah.
I don't think they would do it that way. I think they'd be like, look, you have to bring them here and turn them in. Is more the way they would do it.
Yeah.
But for the people that didn't, how are they gonna? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Because if you're gonna go around militia style taking guns from people, that's gonna get real dark real quick. Because think about people that'd be like, no way in hell I'll die. On that,
Yeah.
there's gonna be a lot of people dying on their own hill that aren't gonna give up their firearms. So I don't think that's the answer, personally. But
Yeah, probably not. Well, I mean, I don't know. People are always going to point to the Second Amendment.
right,
Yeah.
and that's even that could use a rewriting. You know what I mean? That was written in a way different time. The world was much different then than it is now. Do you not think so?
True, but
To an extent.
like,
I mean, come on.
if you look at like supplementary stuff, like the Federalist Papers, stuff that like founding fathers have written, like they wrote that they have said like we wrote that in there so exactly what you explained won't happen.
Right.
Like that's why it's in there, kind of.
Right.
Yeah. So it's kind of a weird loop-de-loop in like of mental, like, it just keeps whoop, whoop, back around.
Circular.
Yeah.
Circular reasoning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure Flat Earth Santa was giving out guns back then, like he does today. He has less space to travel, but it's a thing.
Yep.
I don't know. How would you feel about that? You as a person with being a citizen, you are a citizen, right? You're not.
Yeah.
You're pulling the wall over our eyes here. Don't do it, man.
No. Yeah.
If they did start rewriting the Bill of Rights, just like when you make changes, and changes are uncomfortable for most people, change is uncomfortable, and you're going to start making changes to something that is a fundamental part of our country, I would say, right? There's some intricacies in, you know what I mean, that like, well, basically it comes back to that question, who watches the watchers, and you know what I mean, well, who's the team that is rewriting this?
Yeah. And also like a point you brought up, like whose ethics?
Yeah, whose ethics? Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yep.
Like if they were gonna have a mandatory ethics course for like grade school going into high school and that, which I think it's okay to teach about it, but to try and distill in young minds, this is, you know what I mean? Whose ethics? Yours? Mine?
Yeah.
Down, 4 or 5 houses down. No offense, I don't know who you are. I'm just, it was an example. It could be anybody living there. Yeah, whose ethics are we going to be teaching? Because you can say it, and it points to a really good place. Like, oh, we're trying to teach them some good stuff. Okay, but what,
But this is supposed to be the place where we can discuss that, you know what I mean?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Oh, yeah, without
Yeah.
doubt. I mean, but whose values? Christian values? Is that what, you know what I mean, kids should learn at school? Okay. Well, What if your kid's not a Christian? What if it's a different sect of religion or whatever, or have different beliefs?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I've always been for like teach about teach about as many viewpoints as you can, probably like earlier.
Right.
Yeah. Like it seems to happen at college, but maybe
Can you teach common sense? Is that something that can be taught, or is it like either you got it or you don't?
I don't think it can be taught, but I think it can be learned. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because
You could learn a little bit about it
yeah,
and get more of a grasp on it.
because the thing I've come to experience, like learning common sense, is like you got to teach it to yourself. Because like it's just something you come to see. You know what I mean?
And look, I don't want to put anybody down, but we know damn well how bad it's going to hurt if you try and stick your fingers in a door that's being slammed shut.
Yeah.
Try and get them in that gap. That's going to hurt. You're probably going to have broken bones. Even a car doors kind of are a little more forgiving than house doors. But then again, not. There are some people out there that may question that, like, oh, will it hurt? You're not going to fix the stupid. You know what I mean? You can't. So, you can't fix stupid. You've heard that saying?
I've heard that saying, yeah.
I believe that. And I'm not putting down any one person or any one group. And it's like you kind of don't want to give up.
Trying to explain stuff.
Right. But then again, it's like, well, it's not our jobs to be a teacher. Which,
Yeah.
kudos to teachers out there. Y'all do, I think they do a tough job.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
sure.
on par with some of the toughest jobs. Because you're working with, think about you as a younger person, me as a younger
Yeah.
person. I could be pretty impossible today.
Yep.
And I'm running out of energy today, people. So imagine me as a kid, like,
Yeah.
next to impossible on some things. Yeah, no, who watches the watchers? Whose ethics? These are all valid questions. And that's why I don't think some of those lines need to be crossed. You know what I mean? With what's it called? With ethics and whatnot, teaching it like in schools. Because maybe it's viewed all well and good what they would be teaching by most of society. But what if you didn't agree with what they were teaching your kid at school? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So there should be like maybe optional courses. I think that kind of exists in some capacity. You know what I
Right.
mean? But
Optional courses to that course.
yeah.
Okay. And then there's the whole other aspect of it. We're not digging deep on this, people, but I am going to bring it up. And there are people going for it like, oh, science is a religion. Have you heard anybody say that?
That's honestly no, I haven't really heard that one.
Okay, but there are some people that believe science is a religion. Evolution is just made up. It's just
Oh, yeah.
because some people do hold the view that evolution is just bogus. It's just people that are involved in science drawing lines on paper. And sorry, it's a little more intricate than that, but yeah, we're not going to have the whole debate whether real versus fake. But there are people that like, well, I don't want that taught to my kids at school because they don't believe that it's a thing. You know what I mean? And they want, for example, young Earth creationism. They want that taught in schools.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Dicey, man. Well,
Yeah, I
there's
know.
always private schools.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
And that's where you would teach things like that. Like if that's what you want taught, well then I don't know that there's a school that exists for that exact thing I said. But there are private schools where you can learn. What did you go to for high school?
Kind of Christian missionary school.
Okay. So you attended a regular public school at some point, right?
Until 8th grade, yeah.
Okay. So you have an idea what public school's like. Mm-hmm. To an extent. And were they two different things, kind of? One compared to the other?
Way more similar than you think.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
What am I missing? I need some of that in my life, Tim.
We just honestly, we just had like a Bible class in the morning, and other than that, it was
What did you... All right, tell me about Bible class.
about you learned about the Bible, dude. Like,
Would you... What? So part of it was read aloud? And you guys would discuss it? What
no,
else?
it was like more like you had like you got a textbook, and there was like a you know what I mean? It was like broken down, and then you have two
Oh,
books there. Yeah.
okay. So you had the Bible and then the
And, like,
breakdown of it in a textbook.
yeah, of like what, like, yeah,
I don't know, man.
I
Like,
guess kind of like an ethics course. Like,
and look, this could sink the ship. This could incite fire, and this isn't even the main thing today. Okay, but with so many people rereading the Bible at so many different stages,
oh yeah, there's that, and yeah,
I mean, is it legit? Do you think it's legit? I think there's parts of it that are legit, and luckily, there are scholars out there that study this and try and make sense out of it more so than I ever could. But is it like the longest running game of telephone ever, the Bible, or I mean that it's a good question, and like I said, there's people studying it. I think some of the core stuff of it is good to believe,
yeah,
personally.
there's a lot of good in there.
But it seems like with any good thing, at some point it takes a turn and gets crazy.
Yeah, but I think
Scientology,
yeah,
for
people do
example.
that with everybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Scientology is one.
Cheeseburgers, like
Gun laws.
gun laws, like people, video games, like people go too, like there are some people that'll go too far with anything, man.
All right, moving this on. We're gonna sink the ship, Tim.
Whew. Yeah, that's on you, man.
I'm gonna bring it up only because it was news this week,
Yeah.
and well, you said something. What was the thing? Yada, no opinion.
No uterus, no uterus, no opinion.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And is that like for what opinions count, which is literally nothing when talking about something? Does that mean you can't talk about it? Like, honestly, can you not try and have an intelligent conversation about something, whether you agree or disagree with somebody?
A calm conversation.
Yeah, calm.
Yeah, calm. Yeah.
I mean, that seems like that's coming from a pretty radical standpoint. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Anybody that doesn't know we're talking, do you know the lady's name? Her name?
No.
And what state was that? Alabama?
Alabama. Yeah.
I'm sure it hit news. Alabama concealed carry permits. Oh, give me a second, people. I hate dead air, but you know what? It is a thing. Propose a new strategy. Okay. So 3 Democrats propose a new strategy after the law passed. And I can't find the lady's name to save. Who did that? A governor?
Yeah, I think that'd be a governor at that point.
John Bell Edwards. No, that's not her. Alabama. Kay Ivey? Is that who? Anyhow. The governor of Alabama signed a near total abortion ban into law. And that's not.
Yeah, what define near total though?
I think the exception is like if it's gonna put the woman's life in danger.
But that's the only exception.
I don't know. I'm pulling it up now. And if I pull up, you hear a video playing, people, I'm sorry. I try not to pull up video sites, but when you get to the Clown News Network or CNN, you may run into something.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, so the first picture you're presented with, if you go to the CNN site on this topic here, you're presented with somebody, you can't even see the top of the sign, but the bottom of it says "My Body," and that has to be a my choice, my body sign, I would guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Protect women, protect life. I understand that standpoint. Do you? The protect life, like it's a life, and it all counts as life. But there are some circumstances where I think it could be a good thing. And
I'm not going to necessarily say a good thing, but like,
yeah, it's not a good thing no matter how you chop it up. But in probably the best way to examine is like, well, what if it happened to somebody in your family? Would you want, you know what I mean? Like, no matter what, you keep the baby. Well, what if it puts the mother's life in danger? And I think that is the exception. I'm going to try and read and also talk and sound intelligent. So Governor Kay Ivey on Wednesday signed into law a controversial. I
Mm,
love the way they say that. Is that the Clown News Network spinning it? Is that their spin that it's controversial abortion bill? That could okay. Wow. Okay, so if you're a doctor and you perform an abortion, life in prison.
I saw that part. Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, yeah, you're breaking the law, but life in prison. In a sense, you are killing somebody, like a
Yeah.
murderer.
I think that's like the way they're drawing the line there.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that's understandable. However, I'm trying to see if there's exceptions because I read this, but again, when you read this and then you read the same thing on a different site and you read the same thing on a different site, it's all you get different spins and different agendas. CNN, trustworthy or no? Probably the worst.
Well, I think it claims to be centrist, but it does have like left slant a bit. You know what I mean?
True, true. Okay, so there were many supporters for the bill. Do-do-do-do. Every life is a sacred gift from God.
Okay.
And I say to that, really? Like, really?
Yeah. There's.
I mean, that's fact or is that opinion? You
Yeah.
know,
The Who's ethics. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because it kind of that's why we led into this, gentle people. I just didn't want to slam it on you, like, you know what I mean? I thought better of it than that, while still trying to talk about it. We'll try to get into it. Okay, so I got an ad. An ad popped up. I can't even do research here without ads. Okay, so this is her deeply. To the bill's many supporters, this legislation, I can't speak, stands as a powerful testament to Alabamians' deeply held belief that every life is precious and that every life is a sacred gift from God.
Okay.
And that's in their state. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And are there other states like that, to your knowledge?
I heard something about Georgia. Yeah. So
Okay.
like, yeah.
No, Georgia is a state, yeah.
Yeah. Georgia's a state.
Okay. Now, the law only allows exceptions to avoid a serious health risk to the unborn child's mother, or ectopic pregnancy, and if the unborn child has a lethal anomaly. Democrats introduced an amendment to exempt rape and incest victims, but the motion failed on an 11 to 21 vote. So, and that's one. Whenever we discussed it prior to the show, we didn't even get into the incest part thing of it. Just think about that.
Yeah.
So, and where I would tend to draw a line, and it's not about a belief in religion or this or that. It's just a belief in right or wrong, good versus evil.
Yeah.
Like if you are being abused by an uncle or something, and you happen to be a female, or
In cases of rape, like you have
a prisoners escape, and they run into your daughter, your granddaughter, who's whatever underage even.
Yeah.
That I mean, is that
That's where it gets dicey.
it does get dicey there, man.
Like,
And am I the person to answer that? Probably not. But how would I feel if it happened to my family? I'd feel awful and like, look, do we try and make the best out of this and keep the baby? Or it would be a tough decision.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure that I have an answer unless actually presented with it, like in real life. Like I can speculate and be like, I think I would try and do. Let me say it like this. If the family put it all on me and they're like, look, you got to decide. I'm like, I'm out. Gonna get a cigarette and disappear.
Yeah.
I'm out. No, I wouldn't do that. And it's it. I don't mean to laugh. I'm not making light of a important conversation I think that we're having. I would include other people. More importantly, I mean, but how do you bridge that gap? Say it is a younger woman. How do you know what I mean? And you're trying to talk to a daughter or granddaughter, whatever. and you know what I mean? Explain to them some of the intricacies about life, some of the things that you learn over having years of experience as a kid and then growing into an adult. You can't kind of condense that to the cliff notes and, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely not an easy or yeah, definitely not an easy thing to deal with.
No,
That's
but so they're saying, if I understand this, that they tried to amend the law to exempt those other circumstances, and it failed. Excuse me, it failed. Wow. So they tried. They wanted to amend it to include that. You're exempt if it's this situation, this, or this. So the mother thing, the baby thing, rape and incest. The rape and incest, it failed. 11-21 vote. Like, no, we don't care. It's a life. We're keeping it.
yeah.
I mean, yeah. And I understand the life thing. I also got a question, like, and I don't know where I fall on the matter, honestly. Because I've never actually looked at it till I saw this pass. I never gave it much thought.
Well, yeah, I've been listening to I've been following it and like listening to both sides on it too.
Right.
And yeah, like
Both sides have good points.
yeah.
And it's like,
But then it tumbles back to the whose ethics. Like,
yeah, whose ethics, whose line are we going by?
Yep.
That's where the argument always happens. Where do we draw the line? It does.
Yep.
And it's unfortunately we're people, and I don't think we'll ever see eye to eye. You know, and I think the every life is sacred is more of comes from a religious background. That's what, you know what I mean? Do you think?
well, I think that's a little dismissive. That's saying like that's like kind of like assuming that though, if you like say you're an atheist, that you naturally like would just be one way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
No,
Which I don't think is the case. Like,
No, I like largely. I think
yeah.
overall, like if you take and do a survey or whatever, a census on it. No, the census is counting people, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it'd be a poll, survey.
A poll. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be held by a lot more people that have a religious background, or you know what I mean, than non-religious people, or atheists, or agnostics, or whatever, unknown. I don't know. I would think so, but like I said, I could be wrong on that. I do not know. No matter one's personal view on abortion, we can all recognize that, at least for the short term, this bill may similarly be unenforceable. Unenforceable? So
like Roe v. Wade.
right.
Yeah. So this is probably the beginning of the argument for this. You know what I mean? Right now.
Okay, so they brought up the Roe versus Wade
Yeah.
from 1973. The Supreme Court to revisit this important matter, and they believe this act may bring about the best opportunity for this to occur. I don't know. I think. And here's another thing too. When people are discussing this, and I don't know if we fall on opposite sides here, or the same side, or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it seems like, have you seen any calm conversations with it going on ever?
No.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I mean, not really. I mean, we are, but I don't think we're on opposing sides. And I really,
No.
dude, that's why I put the post out today. I so wanted to get, if anybody, any ladies want to call in or whatever, I would, and to.
Well, for me, like it falls more back. Like I'm kind of libertarian, so I'm like I'm not gonna like make that decision for you.
Yeah.
But like personally, I would hope to decide against it in most cases. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Overall for the better part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, keep your baby.
Yeah.
Do what's right. But there are some
exceptions. Yeah. Like the exceptions we discussed earlier.
Yeah. You can't carry that torch without the risk of being burned or whatever. You're not going to sharpen that blade and not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not get it cut, because it is kind of a double-edged blade. Could be.
Yeah.
And bad example, whatever. I just, yeah.
Yeah.
hopefully it sorts us out to the best of how it can turn out eventually.
Yeah.
Whether it gets amended or she sees something differently, I don't think the governor would.
I think it's Alabama, man.
It is what it is.
Yep.
And that's the other thing too. That's not being from a place. Can I really speak to how, you know what I mean? Does my opinion even matter if I know little about the place?
Yeah.
Probably not, no.
Yeah.
But I still think that I can have a halfway intelligent conversation about something, whether I've been there, lived there, know about it or not. Just if you're talking right versus wrong. You know.
Yeah.
And that, what was that quote again? No uterus, no opinion.
Yeah.
Was that from a feminist or
I don't know. I just saw it scrolling through.
something scrolling through?
And yeah, I don't know, but I think that's not like helpful. Just to be like, just to shut down like discussion and thought. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, Georgia had. Let me back scroll here. Alabama lawmakers now lead the pack of legislators across several states who are producing measures to restrict abortion, such as Georgia's recent fetal heartbeat bill. Okay. Well, let's look at that for a minute. There's some people that agree no matter when it is, it's a life. And then there's other people that like once there's a heartbeat, it's a life, right?
Yeah.
And then there are some wackos out there that like, oh, it's a life, not a life until the baby's born. Bullshit.
Yeah.
That's a life long before that.
Well, I thought
You know.
I may be speaking out of school, so it might have just been something that I heard, but I thought that like Roe v. Wade had a limit in weeks, didn't it?
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah. So
You're talking from 1973.
yeah, and I think it was called the heartbeat part of it too.
Right.
Like, that's where they draw the line.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I know there's going to be people out there. They're like, why are you drawing lines? This is crazy. There should be no lines. You know, there's a life's a life. I understand that.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I agree with that. But like, there's no other way to say it. I agree with it almost wholly, except a couple exceptions. And I don't know if those exceptions were heard in that case. Maybe not. I mean, who knows? I wasn't there. I'm not responsible. My amazing host, Tim, and I just wanted to have a conversation about it, have it on the mics. I don't think we're alone.
Yeah.
I think there's other people that agree with it, disagree.
Yeah, but just to have a conversation calmly.
Yeah.
And just give both sides of the perspective. You know what I mean?
should
Give
throw
both-
shit.
Yeah.
We'll
Like
throw shit. Sorry, we're all out of water bottles. That seems like what gets thrown lately.
yeah.
Water bottles. MMA fighters are real fun to throw in water bottles.
Monster cans and whatnot. Yeah.
Monster cans. True. All right, man, we got to wrap it up. We are running out of time. However,
Yeah.
I dig that we had a good show. Some
Yeah.
dead air.
A little bit of dead air, but we were looking stuff up, and it was, a serious conversation. So
Definitely a serious conversation. Sorry. I had a message pop up over here on my side. Hopefully it didn't pop up. Oh, and it did. You guys got Messenger up. Sorry about that. Anybody that tried reading that. Anyhow, let's sign it off, Tim. I don't know. I think I just, if it does stick, I feel bad for people in those exception or those certain circumstances.
yeah.
That's going to be, look, it's a hard decision to make overall, like regardless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not only that, there's a whole nother party to include. I mean, when it's not those exceptions, because regardless, somebody else's feelings are kind of involved. You know what I mean? Like the man.
Oh.
Except for those exceptions, that shouldn't matter if it's.
Well, if it's those exceptions, or if it's like a deadbeat dad who just skips,
Right.
Yeah, but that's what child support's for.
Correct.
Yep.
Yes. Very much so.
So.
And dude, there's so much we could go into. We're running out of time. I have to
Yeah.
go to work, people. I do thank you for hanging out. catching the show. We will be back again next week. It seems like every time I try and set this in stone for a certain time,
If you get, yeah, never happens.
yeah, the world is against me.
Yeah.
Our power went out. Here's a few of the troubles. Power went out.
Yeah.
Cameras would not. We could not get no image. We should have just did like an audio broadcast. How boring would that be for people?
Yeah, but whatever.
Help. Help. All right. Have a good week, people.
Yep. Later on.
We appreciate your time, your ears, whether it's audio, video. We appreciate you.
Yep.
Subscribe,
Thank
share, get the message out there. antisocialexperience.com. Antisocial Experience Podcast on Facebook. Yes, I'm reshilling because I can. And Antisocial Experience Podcast on YouTube. Have a good week.
you. Yep.
And they're not hearing that music.
No music.